Welcome into the One and Only podcast, ladies and gentlemen, from April 11th, 2019. We are at episode 3 of the One and Only podcast, and from that intro, you pretty much already know it's Bruins playoff hockey time, baby. Let's go! Let's fucking go!
Where is that term is Mike? He has to fucking spike it every time. Every time.
Obviously, you can tell I'm excited for playoff hockey. I pretty much watched them yesterday, and I watched the Columbus Blue Jackets overcome a 3-goal deficit and defeat the President's Cup trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning in their own home, 4-3, with Seth Jones putting it in for the game winner in the third.
Did you get to watch anything last night?
No? You didn't get a chance to even see the Pittsburgh Islanders game?
No. I know they won.
That shit was in OT, man.
Doesn't mean I had to watch it. It was the
Yeah, I know.
and Penguins.
I know, but I love playoff hockey, dude. That shit is fucking amazing for me, man. I love that shit. Especially the best part is of tonight. Tonight for us, the Bruins, they come back.
Yeah, what we got about 15, 20 minutes?
Let's see.
Yeah, about 15 minutes.
About that.
Yeah,
What's the timer on the TV? What the hell?
No, it's no, we're getting close. I mean, time and time again, we've had at least in my lifetime, a shot of winning the Stanley Cup, seeing the Stanley Cup actually be raised. You know, it's a surreal feeling to actually see that in person. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm thirsting for that thing, man. I really am.
Right.
Like, I want that cup so fucking badly, man.
Hell yeah, we need another parade around here.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's been way too long. I know you don't really care that much.
Look, whoa.
This last month has been killing me.
I know it's been killing you. You haven't seen a parade in God knows how long. It's been 2 months since you've actually seen a parade. I know, I get it.
I mean, that'd be pretty badass, though. Red Sox, Pats, then Bruins in order.
And then Celtics in June. That would be amazing.
Let me ask everybody here a question, because I know most of us are all Boston sports fans, except for Tony. Do you think there's a chance? Is there like a legitimate chance that we could get all 4?
That'd be fucking awesome.
The Bruins look good. The Celtics are kind of limping into the playoffs a little bit.
It could happen.
It'd be nuts. It would be insane.
It would, but jeez. Speaking non-biased, it's kind of very unlikely for it to happen.
Oh, yeah.
With, I mean, the strength of, especially if we go into the NBA with Milwaukee and Toronto, those are some really good teams coming out of the East. That's just to get out of the Eastern Conference in itself. And not gonna lie, Toronto, we've had our trouble trying to be able to defeat them on the road. So we're gonna have a
Drake in their corner. They're gonna lose.
Just another thing, folks. Whenever Drake ever cheers for your team, you're fucked.
Just ask Alabama.
Yeah, fuck you. How about that?
Just once, can he just have a fucking Tom Brady jersey on for one fucking game? One game, goddammit. Ugh, Jesus. I mean, look, if I see the way that this goes, I honestly feel that this may end up being a situation where we can be able to take care of business at home. Like, we have the depth for it, at least within our line of Pasternak, Bergie, Marchand. I mean, the only thing that we really have to worry about, to me, because honestly, we can be able to match defense to defense. Because Toronto's defense is trash. It's not that good. Toronto's defense isn't that good. And we can't really say that most for us, but I honestly feel that can fall onto the lines of our goaltenders. If Tuukka doesn't really have a good series, he starts off 0-2, we're going to be in for a rough ride.
I've seen him come back from 0-2 before. I think Tuukka will be fine. My question is, are we going to get the playoff Krejci from a couple years ago? Because last year he was trash.
Yeah.
Is Pasternak going to show up this year? Is Marchand going to show up this year? Bergeron shows up every year.
He's Mr. Consistency.
Who's going to cover Austin Matthews? Who's going to cover Tavares' line? How are they going to stop that power play? That's the most lethal power play in the NHL.
Yeah, it is. I mean, let's see. They've run up, fifth in the them as a whole are fifth in power play, I think. And I think the Bruins, were 12th in the penalty kill. But, I mean, with all of those factors, do you still see them, where do you see the Bruins lining up against Toronto?
Bruins
as far
penalty kill is 16th. 79%. And they
so close.
They're top 3 in power play at 25.9.
Oh, there we go.
The top power play percentage going to Tampa Bay.
So if I look at this, and if Tuukka doesn't lay an egg, and he doesn't decide, you know what, I'm just going to let everything go in like Swiss cheese, then the Bruins are going to have a shot to be able to win this series. It's just a matter of, I feel like, to me, if Tuukka doesn't really, produce, we're not really going to be able to get through this. Because I feel like they will make that change, considering how bad he actually was during the season. Because he had a rough go during the season.
We own Toronto, we'll be fine. Toronto is like the Chargers when they play the Patriots. The Chargers, zone defense. Brady's going to pick you apart. Toronto plays the same way. They're going to rush you. They're going to dump and chase. You're just going to be able to stop Tavares. You have to be able to stop Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, I think his name is.
Yes, Mitch Marner.
But other than that, they don't have the depth outside of that. We can score from all 4 lines. Put Tavares on his back, he's not doing much.
That's true. So where do you see it going? Bruins 6, Bruins 5? Just a prediction. Yeah, none.
Bruins in 6. Toronto's good at home. Tuukka's gonna shit himself at one point or another.
Yeah. I honestly think that, if there's a situation where Tuukka, does shit himself and he does it at home, then I feel like we could be able to rally within 6. But if we can be able to weather the storm at home and get 2 off of them, I still see that we can win it in 5. But
that's my prediction. That's 5.
You think that's 5?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
No. Well, you're listening into the One and Only podcast. We are going to be turning it into another form of recent stories, because one of my panelists here, Mr. Machado, he has a little bit of a gym story for us, and not gonna lie, I was a little bit grossed out when I ended up hearing this one. So you know what? I figured I'd let him be able to share this with you. This is the One and Only podcast, the only podcast you'll ever need. Ooh, yes. Of course, this is the One and Only podcast featuring Tony, the One and Only. Of course, Mallet and Machado. And guess what? We got a little special guest in here. Please say hi to us. What is your name, dear sir? Please talk right into the mic right here. Right into the mic, good sir.
They call me Flash.
They call you Flash?
Nicky Flash.
Nicky Flash.
Yep.
Now, while my producer is dying here in the back, Machado, you told me a story of about a time you ended up going into the gym, and you had a kind of a horrible experience when that ended up happening. So if that's the case, you tell this story, I'm going to get a little bit high for this shit. Yeah.
So it's not even a specific time that this shit happens. It's one of my biggest fucking pet peeves, all right? This happens all the time.
Oh, this is a regular zip?
Yeah, it's all the time. And let me tell you, I am tired of seeing old man dick every time I walk in the goddamn locker room. I'm fucking over it, man. Every time I go into this damn gym locker room, I'm seeing old dudes just walking around butt naked.
Case in point, not even having a fucking towel leaving around them.
Nope.
Just strutting in, being like, "Hey, what's going on, guys? How you
Fucking-
doing?
Fucking talking
Yo,
to
hey,
you.
I'd love to be able to meet your kids.
Long,
Yeah.
swaying in the breeze.
Like, damn, like, I'm... Like,
Hey, is your daughter doing okay? Yeah? I don't know, but
fucking pulling the Captain Morgan fucking pose while they're butt naked. Like, come on, man. I'm not...
okay, no, for God's sakes, no, do not do that.
Every gym...
Do not drop your pants, Mallet. No, please, for God's sakes, don't.
Like,
We don't need that kind of
oh,
reenactment,
man,
sir.
It is just... It happened the other day, and
Guy, it would not bring in listeners if they are the ones not viewing that. If I'm viewing that, I don't want to fucking see that. That don't bring in listeners, damn it.
Oh, man, but yeah. And
Unless you Instagram the sumbitch, but that's a different situation.
Every
With
time.
which I will walk out this sumbitch. I'm sorry of interrupting you, Josh,
It's all
but
good.
please go ahead,
man,
sir.
it's just every time, man. Like, I'm not trying to see this. Like, I'm just trying to get in there, get changed, and do my thing, and I'm over it. I don't want to see this shit, man.
Like, would you ever see like those situations? Like, I've heard like women's locker rooms, don't they have like their like individual like stalls and any of that shit? Like, have you ever heard of that shit at all?
I've never been in one. So
I know you haven't been in one, pretty per se, but I'm just saying, like, have you ever like asked like a woman where like, look, like, don't y'all have like individual like locker rooms of your own where you can be able to actually change in peace? Like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, like isn't that something that couldn't have already been invented already? You know what I'm saying?
Because it's some bullshit. It's like every time you walk around the fucking corner to go in this locker room, boom, right there. Old man with his dick out, fucking
Eyes up.
Jesus Christ, man! It's eyes up when you walk into there because you don't know.
So
what
it's
the hell's
just
happening.
old man dick.
Pretty much, yeah.
Not like
Usually, that's
not like
usually
30-year-old, not 30-year-old dick and any of that stuff. It's just strictly old man dick.
Reach like Medicaid age, it's just there,
Yeah.
just balls
Okay.
Yeah, once you hit 50, it's like, oh, I gotta walk around with my balls out, like all the time. in
So
the locker room.
you're pretty much saying anyone who's between the ages of 18 to 49, they can actually be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna wear some shorts and walk around the locker room.
Usually,
Or
usually.
at least a
Or a towel.
Or a towel, yes, or a fucking towel.
Shit.
Like, that's kind of fucking sad. Well, I guess when you're pretty much that age, they're just like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, true.
I'm just gonna let this thing ride on out and just be like, you know what, let this thing hang on in. I
feel
don't
like
care.
they can be, because are you really gonna go up to that old guy and be like, put your fucking dick away?
That old guy will be like, fuck you. What the fuck you talking about? I'll put my dick out wherever the fuck I want to.
Man, it's some shit, man.
Oh my god. That is probably some of the grossest shit I usually get to be able to hear on a weekly basis. You are listening to the One and Only Podcast. Let's see, we're going to talk about a little bit some UFC because we got 236 coming up pretty soon.
Yep,
Of
Saturday
course.
night.
The One and Only Podcast, the only podcast you'll ever need. Stick around. Ooh, yeah. The One and Only Podcast, the only podcast you will ever need. Yes. Again, let's go into a little bit of UFC talk. Why? Because guess what? We have another card along the way, UFC 236. But guess what? I'm a UFC head and I fucking love it. That's why. But before we get into that shit, TJ Dillashaw. This motherfucker got popped by USADA. Another one who just couldn't get out of the way of USADA, but being popped for something that, man, if you fucking are taking this shit, you have a fucking true edge. You have a true edge, my friend. This man got popped for fucking EPO. Okay?
No, what is that? You're gonna explain this to? I have no
Like-
idea. I don't think any of us do.
Nope.
Like it's hard to describe like the full like dynamics of the drug in itself, but like EPO or erythropoietin, it's a drug that can allow you to be able to have a peak endurance when you can be able, when you're having like the championship rounds. So let's say if TJ Dillashaw is in the 4th and 5th round against Cody Garbrandt, instead of knocking him out, like let's say if that ends up going the distance, he's going to have a lot more endurance than Cody Garbrandt is going to by far.
Right.
Like I'll give you another example. Let's say I want you to be able to run as far as you possibly can and then stop. All right. I want you to do that with just absolutely clean. And once you do that, and once you stopped, after that, take that EPO, take that for a couple of weeks, and I want you to run that same distance, and I want you to run that same amount, run as fast as you possibly can, and as far as you possibly can. I will guarantee you would end up be running 2 times as more when you end up taking EPO.
Okay.
So that's kind of the dynamics of what that can possibly do for you. And doing that and having that in your system, man, that is the biggest advantage you can be able to have. And especially something as brutal as combat sports. It's allowing you to be able to go a lot harder in the gym, a lot harder in the training sessions. And it allows you to be able to pretty much dominate as much as you possibly can.
Okay, I'm just reading over here what the benefits of EPO are.
Like, tell me, am I wrong here?
So this is from USADA's website. So it says it's a synthetic hormone used to stimulate the body's production of red blood cells, thereby increasing oxygen transport and aerobic power. So exactly like you said, it's going to increase your performance and your endurance.
Exactly. So if you end up taking that, of course you're going to be going through the roof.
Right.
Like, and you can obviously tell in his last fight against Henry Cejudo, when he ended up having to drop down to flyweight. He looked like he was a complete Skeletor. You knew for a fact he was not taking that stuff when he ate it. Like, it was absolutely brutal. Like, oh, jeez, we're seeing the Bruins game here, and
a nice little stick to the face over here on the TV.
Like,
is it a double minor?
Is it no? Just I don't think so.
I think it's just a regular minor, folks. Yes, we're just doing a little commentary as well on this. Sorry to get sidetracked there. Of course,
hockey, man.
Exactly. This is Bruins playoff hockey. This is what you get out of the One and Only podcast. Now, he's suspended for 2 years. Do you think you're ever going to see Dillashaw again?
What is he, 33, I believe?
I
think. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure he's 33. If he is, then that's tough to come back. 2 years off, you come back, you're 35 years old.
Like, especially knowing the fact that
let's go.
Guess what? We got a nice little fucking goal here.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got a fucking goal here. Sorry about that, folks. especially when you're getting popped for something that is most predominantly the worst performance-enhancing drug to be able to be popped for.
Right.
Like, think about it. Like, Lance, he pretty much got popped for the same thing, Lance Armstrong, and was never doing it again.
Right.
I honestly don't see TJ Dillashaw coming back to the UFC ever again, let alone fighting again.
That'd be tough. A 2-year layoff. That's pretty tough. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back, but not at the level that he's been at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's really funny because like there were press conferences where you had Cody Garbrandt just he was egging on TJ Dillashaw, telling him that like, look, you were the one who was telling us to be able to do it. You were the one showing us how to be able to do it.
Right.
And like you had TJ Dillashaw just kind of going, yeah, no, yeah, I was the one doing that. Yeah, like doing like a tongue in cheek kind of thing. Guess what? Cody was fucking right.
Yeah.
Who would have fucking thought No Love was right? Cody No Chin Garbrandt is right. Sorry, I'm sorry, Cody, but you know it's. I was rooting for you in that fight, and you just decided to go fucking Street Fighter mode on me, and just be like, just throwing lefts and rights to the wind and leaving your neck wide open. Decides to go to sleep. Thanks, I appreciate that. But No Chin will survive soon. He'll be back. I hope so. But let's get back into the actual people who are going to be fighting this weekend in UFC 236. We have, of course, the main event and the UFC featherweight champion Max Blessed Holloway going up against Dustin the Diamond Poirier, going up to their second fight. This is the second time they fought. This is, I believe, in 2013 when Max Holloway made his debut in the UFC. Actually, 2012, I would say. And Dustin Poirier actually disposed of Maxime Holloway via triangle choke in that thing. He made it look easy. But at this point, this is not the same Max Holloway that Dustin Poirier is going to be fighting 7 years in the past. This is a man who is definitely going to have all his bearings in a row. He has a much better ground game. I mean, as you can tell, his strikes are just so crisp, and the man could be able to take a shot. So, I mean, if Dustin is going to be able to think that this is going to be the same cakewalk that he thought that he was going to be in his last fight, it's going to be mistaken. In that fight, I mean, I honestly feel that Holloway is going to come in and pretty much dispose of Poirier.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I'm right there with you.
Like, I do see, like, don't get me wrong, Dustin Poirier had a tremendous performance against Eddie Alvarez, and his fight against Justin Gaethje was absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
You know, like disposing them the same exact way, former champ after former champ after former champ. He's got a point. Like, he's on a roll, you know. But I just feel like that clock is going to stop with Max on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And the winner of that will, of course, be the interim lightweight champion, who will go on to face Khabib Nurmagomedov whenever he ends up coming back from his suspension. I believe that's going to be...
So the winner gets to get choked out by Khabib.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 'cause you know
Pretty
that's
much.
you know that's going to happen.
Yeah, so, I mean, it'll probably be sometime at the end of the year, you know. That's if even Khabib even wants to be able to have that fight. But
Yeah, well, he wants to sit out a year, right? He
I-
won't fight till his cousin can fight or whatever.
Yeah, he's throwing out that
saying?
kind of bullshit. He's having the scenarios with Connor right now, where Connor's talking about his wife and all that other fucking bullshit.
Nuggets needs to go away. I'm fucking over this dude.
We think that
He just retired.
Jeez.
It's some
No.
bullshit. He ain't retiring.
Like none of y'all think he's gonna be retiring. No, that's not gonna happen. The last portion of UFC 236 that we want to talk about is the interim middleweight championship, which is going to be facing having Kelvin Gastelum, who was supposed to be facing Robert Whittaker, who was the undisputed middleweight champion in Australia, in his hometown, in Robert's hometown. But unfortunately, due to a hernia, Robert had to be able to back out.
hernia?
Yes, he had to back out due to a
He
hernia.
just had surgery for it recently, right?
Yep. So
I think.
So he will be good to go, hopefully, I think, the end of the year, if not the beginning of next,
Okay.
because he will be back on track for that. But his last fight, Kelvin Gastelum's, was a year ago. It's been a while. Last time he's fought
Yep,
was
May of last year.
May of last year.
Yep.
Right. So you have Kelvin Gastelum going up against, you have someone who just fought in February, an Israel Adesanya, who has been an absolute fucking tear going through the UFC, man. He's been just dominating. I mean, the past knockouts of, you had Derek Brunson, you had the unanimous decision over Anderson Silva on February, and I mean the man is poised and ready to reclaim a throne for the middleweight championship. You know,
I feel like it's a little bit of a step up in the competition that he's fought so far. So we'll see if he can do it. Because I mean, every fight I feel he's sort of fought someone a little bit better, and now he's up to the top tier. We'll see if he can do it. I'm a big Gastelum fan, though. I like him. I've been watching him since The Ultimate Fighter, so
yeah,
I'd like to see him take it.
Now, when I look at the competition that he had, when I say Adesanya, I mean, Anderson Silva's no slouch. I mean, regardless of how old he is, that man's still Anderson fucking Silva.
Exactly. I mean, it's still Anderson Silva. He's 40, 43. You're going to turn 44, I think, in a few days, actually.
Right.
You know, he's still Anderson Silva, but he's 43. Is he really? It's like
yeah, you pretty much said yes. The age pretty much just is a.
Really, like you're putting like a name on your belt, like you beat Anderson Silva, but like, did you really beat the real Anderson Silva? You know what I mean?
Right. Not.
He's an all-time great, so.
Right. But it's
not
like
the same guy.
Yeah, if you had John Jones beat like Fedor right now, like, is that really that big of a deal?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Fedor was what, fucking 30-something-0 at one point.
So that's kind of, is that kind of in the scenario with the GSP too, considering how old he is? Like, if someone ended up trying to fight GSP?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's the same. How old is GSP though? He's not. He's probably what, late 30s maybe.
I would say late 30s.
I don't think he's like 43, 44 like Anderson Silva is, you know. But we'll see. I think it'll be a good fight regardless. You know what I mean?
So how do you see it playing out?
Oh man, my heart is telling me to go for Gastelum, but my head's telling me he's probably not gonna take it.
No, you don't think it's gonna? You think it's Adesanya?
Yeah, I mean he's 16-0. He's, would you say, 5-0 in the UFC?
Yep.
Like, he's just progressively getting better, the people that he's fighting. So I think that he'll take it.
Yeah, and I would say that the one thing that Kelvin has over Adesanya that could be a flaw for Israel is Kelvin's wrestling. He's a great wrestler. Yeah. So, I mean, that could be one of Israel's flaws, because with what Adesanya has been able to do against like a Brunson who can be able to wrestle, against an Anderson Silva who can be able to drop and do some BJJ, against people like that, he could still be able to sprawl and get through that.
Right.
Now, of course, you have someone in a Kelvin Gastelum who has great wrestling and great technique on the ground, and also has great boxing as well. So if he gets inside of Israel and is able to get in some dirty boxing, it could be a rough night for Kelvin.
Yeah.
It could be a rough night for Israel. So, but you're listening into the One and Only podcast, of course, the only podcast you'll ever need. I think we're going to get into some music next, but before we get into that, we actually do have a sponsor.
Oh,
you guys gave us
a sponsorship, huh?
Shit, we got our first sponsor. Holy crap. Thank you for telling me this. Thanks, guys. It's Brenda's breast napkins? What the where the fuck did you find these shits? Which one of y'all found this? Which one of y'all fucking found this?
I just answer the emails that come in. I'm
like,
sorry.
what the, like, look, at least it has some kind of a tagline or something. Jeez. Oh my god. Let's see here. Let's see if I can actually do this in a way of an actual advertisement. Because, see, guess what? They are our sponsors, damn it. If they're our sponsors, then we're going to do this with class.
Goddamn right.
Fuck yes. We're going to do this with class.
Can you get with breast wipes?
I don't think it's breast wipes. I think it's like more just like coverage. Like more for the fact of like, you know, if they feel like they want to be able to have like some kind of breeze without people like.
Shouldn't you know? God damn it.
He's got the paper.
Like they didn't give us they didn't give them the actual tagline. I have the fucking tagline right here. So shit. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Huh. All right. Ladies, if you want your C's and D's to feel the breeze without people gawking or wearing undertees, then try Brenda's breast napkins. What the fuck? What the shit is this? Who the fuck writes this shit? What the fuck? You're fucking speechless for this. What do you gotta say to that? What the fuck?
I I didn't come up with it. Blame the writers.
Oh my God.
Hey, you did pretty good though. You did it justice.
I did. I hope I did. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. We'll take that shit. Brenda's fucking breast napkins available in stores anywhere. I hope. Clear. Woo. I love the fact that it just blows right into your fucking face, motherfucker.
Delicious.
It does? Does it smell delicious, Mallet?
It smells delicious.
There you go.
What's not delicious? Watching the Red Sox play baseball right now.
Oh, God, yes, I know. It's not that fun.
3-9. That's fun.
Awful.
But yeah, sorry for getting through a little bit of the Red Sox stuff. We did say we were going to get into a little bit of music, but like, what I want to get into is just like, I want to get into some of the like concerts that you guys have been to, because like some of these concerts that I've gone to, like some have been like really chill and really mellow. Like I've gone to like Dave Matthews Band concerts and shit like that, where it's it's chill as shit though.
Chill is. Concerts are parties to me.
Yeah, thanks. No, I'm just trying to enjoy the nice weather and just get fucking drunk, dude.
Yeah.
That's it. If I'm going to a concert, that's it.
Just letting everybody know, regular Mallet and concert Mallet, two different people.
Oh, yeah.
They're two different people.
Yeah. Concert, man.
Well, hold on a second. So, what was the most insane like concert that you've gone to where insane Mallet has crept up?
Florida Georgia Line, Cole Swindell, and Kane Brown. I think it was.
That was about three years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't remember. I remember everything up until walking into the concert, and then I remember just being on the lawn and just partying, passing drinks around, passing blunts around. Like, oh, it was hammered. Top 5 drunkest I've ever been in my life. Guaranteed.
It's like,
Facts.
jeez.
No, so that's my favorite concerts, the ones I don't fucking remember.
Just
Because you know you had a good fucking time if you don't even remember that shit. I can't even count the number of concerts I've been to that we're partying, we're drinking, whatever. And then the next thing I remember, I'm at my seat. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how I got into the concert. I fucking completely have no idea. Like, just black out in between one thing to the other. And I'm like, I don't know how I got here, but fuck it, I'm here and I'm having fun, so...
See, we think we're talking about music, but we're talking about us getting completely fucking shattered, folks. I mean, shit.
Hey, that's what you gotta do at a concert, man.
They go hand in hand.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. You know, like especially, like, you know what? I actually do remember a scenario like that happened during a concert that I didn't get actually blackout drunk at. It was great. It was at a fucking Method Man concert in I think 2012.
How high were you?
Oh my God. The concert was called Smoker's Section, sir.
Oh shit.
How the hell high do you think I was?
The appropriate amount, I hope.
Oh God. So high that I could kiss the sky. Anyway. Of course, the Wu-Tang Clan were, of course, performing, and some idiot decided that during their fucking set, they wanted to be able to throw a fucking water bottle at fucking Method Man.
That sounds like a mistake to me.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a mistake. Because after that, he proceeded to take the nearest thing that was close to him, which was, at that point, a trash can, which was filled with water bottles, empty water bottles, half full water bottles, and all sorts of shit that you can think of. Just a lot of shit, because guess what? When he threw this sumbitch at that particular person who threw that water bottle at him, all of that shit came out with it. And I'm gonna tell you, not only does this motherfucker have an arm, he's accurate. He fucking blasted this dude, and then people proceeded to beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Oh my God, they beat the fucking piss out of him, and then security escort. Oh no, there was more to that. No, there was more to that, because after he fucking threw that after he threw that trash can, he proceeded to leap off that summit stage and go to whoop his ass.
That's fucking awesome.
He went to whoop his ass himself, and everybody else joined in and beat the piss out of this dude. The dude ended up getting escorted out. Method Man got back on stage, and as soon as he ended up grabbing the mic, he's like, all right, let's get this shit fucking cracking again. Let's go. What's the fucking next blunt? Place went fucking nuts. Mosh pits was going on throughout the entire night, and people were high and drunk as fuck.
I can't fuck with shit that has mosh pits and like some shit like that.
No?
I can't fuck with that. It's just too much for me. I'm just trying to enjoy.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Like,
I've been in two different type of mosh pits. I've been in the rap mosh pits that are just kind of like where people kind of push each other around. It's alright, just having a good time. And then I've been in like a rock band's mosh pit where people are literally trying to punch you in the face and knock you the fuck out.
Yeah,
like legit, like literally trying to knock you
life.
the fuck out for no reason. Just be like, when I go see like a concert, I don't want to get punched in the face. I just want to watch the concert. That's all.
Right. Like, I don't like to be in mosh pits. Like, that's not, like, I did not, I honestly thought I lost my ex in one of those mosh pits. Like, seriously, I swear to Christ, I thought I lost my ex in one of those mosh pits. Because she goes down there, starts just going in and just going ham with everybody else that's fucking moshing in that same concert. And then once the fucking thing is over, she's nowhere to be found. I'm like, did this bitch die? Is she gone? What the? Where did she go? I know I saw her fucking throwing hands and shit. I'm like, what? Did she get an ambulance? What the fuck? I'm like trying to call, no response, any of that shit. I found her outside from the state house, and like that was miles away. I'm like, where the hell were you? Fucking bruised up and all that shit. It's like, nah, nothing. Just let's go.
yeah, man. Some people go too hard at concerts. I used to fucking work at the Xfinity Center as security. Man, you see some shit.
Yeah.
They never told us to break out mosh pits. They always told us just like surround it and make sure no one got hurt.
Right.
And no one rejoined it. I remember I went to a concert, I don't know, like 4 or 5, actually might have been closer to 10 years ago now, where someone literally broke a chair and threw like the chair.
He was
Like Bobby Knight style, just like took the chair, just went.
Like, for instance, he was like, hey, bitches, go!
yeah, he's jumping on top of the chair and it fucking snaps. Like it's like a movie theater, like flip down, like seat. Like,
Are you
like
shitting me?
Seat, like
Yeah.
that. He's jumping on it. The fucking seat breaks off, so he just picks it up and fucking whips it over his head, fucking into the crowd. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. I was like, you guys are too wild. Like, no, I'm not. I can't do it.
I think that was the last rap concert.
Yeah, that was the last
Flash.
rap band.
Were you at that same concert?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Concert, and there were multiple fights during that concert. It was madness.
Oh, jeez.
That was Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller.
Yep. See,
That was a good concert though.
That's why
Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller did their thing, but
that's why
there was
I
some shit that
can't-
went down.
Way too rowdy.
That's why I can't fuck with rap concerts anymore. Like, not there at least, cause man, you can't
Hey, Shady comes
tailgate.
around. I'll go see him anytime.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But like, it's a little too wild for me. I'm getting old. I can't keep up with that shit anymore, man.
Oh, don't give me the I'm getting too old for this shit kind of scenario here. You're not even 30
I'm
yet, my
23,
friend.
I go there, I'm like,
You're not even 30 yet,
literally
my friend. Don't even try to front with that.
What was your first concert?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
what was your
first
first?
concert.
Mine was
That's a good
insane.
question.
It was
Insane.
NSYNC in Foxborough Stadium. My mom brought like me and my neighbor, who was my friend, one of my best friends at the time. Like it was her mom, me, and my mom. You know, that was the first concert. I was like 8, maybe 9.
Yeah.
Yep,
My first concert.
she was crazy.
my first concert was a Busta Rhymes concert, which was, I honestly have gone to 3 places for concerts: the Pavilion in Boston, the Xfinity Center in Mansfield, and Lupo's over in Providence. I've normally just been going to the one in Lupo's, and I'll admit, like that got me hooked into wanting to go into see concerts, because Busta Rhymes, he did his thing, you know, but it took fucking forever to get there though. If there's one thing I can't stand is like the headliner, it's not on until like 11.
Oh yeah, that's some bullshit. I hate that.
Like in those kind of scenarios, like I need to be able to see it like now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All depends on who the openers are. Like, I've been to some concerts where the openers are great, so you don't really care that the main act didn't come on till a little later. But then you go to a concert, you're like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Right.
Now I gotta wait
right.
4 hours till the guy I actually paid the money to go see comes on.
That's why you go get drunk in the parking lot, man. Fuck it. You don't know the opener, just keep fucking drinking until you get kicked out of the parking lot.
But don't get me wrong, like there is local music that is around like the area that ends up performing in these concerts, and that could be they actually could be able to really perform, which is great. So that's one of the good things about it, though. But
You want to know my first concert?
What was your first
Fucking
concert?
Eminem.
No shit.
I don't remember when it was. I was probably like 12 or 13, honestly.
You got into an Eminem concert at 13?
Yeah, I went with my
show.
mom and my aunt.
You were at that show,
It
now?
was fucking awesome.
Holy shit.
It was Eminem, 50 Cent. What was the name of that tour?
I think it was Up in Smoke, maybe?
The Up in Smoke.
Up in Smoke tour?
Snoop Dogg was there too.
No.
Oh shit.
Yeah, maybe it was. I honestly don't remember. It was, like I said, I was probably like 12 or 13, so
Shit,
fucking 15 years
that
ago,
would be
I
hard as hell for
care
me to be
about
able to remember what that concert really was. Hell, my first concert I think was when I was 20 years old. That was it. Like I actually can remember that. Imagine if you had to be able to remember that when you were 12 years old. It's like I can remember it vividly. I remember exactly what he was saying, and especially had all of those songs. I mean, it'd be hard to really.
So it was actually the Anger Management tour.
Oh, the Anger Management tour?
Yeah. Yep, that was the one my first. It was pretty cool.
Well, of course, you are listening to the one and only podcast, the only podcast you will ever need. I think we're going to go into our last hit. Stick around and keep it with us. Yes, you are listening into the one and only podcast, the only podcast you will ever need. Of course, you have the one and only, along with Mallet, Machado, and of course, Kid Flash.
No, Nicky Flash.
Oh, it's Nicky Flash.
Come on, man.
It's Nicky Flash. But he's the kid here. He is the kid here, though. That's why I said it's like Kid Flash. Of course, he's not as fast as I am, but that's a different scenario. Oh, I had to say it, man. I had to say it, man. I'm sorry.
We'll find out on the base pass.
You know how fast Tony isn't? He's not fast enough to not get thrown out from left field by Flash. I'll tell you that.
Hey, kid's got an arm. What can I say? The kid has an arm. All right. But before we get into the last hit, we want to talk a little bit about talk a little basketball, because just as much as the Bruins are in the playoffs, so are the Celtics.
Hell yeah.
We are in again, going against the Indiana Pacers.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and of course we get an update from the fucking Sox again. They're oh my god.
It's gonna be a common theme if they keep playing like this.
Yeah, you'll hear my emotion every time they end up playing, folks. Because God, this is gonna be that kind of fucking year. I really hope not. All right. Regardless, let's talk to something positive here. Celtics playoffs against the Pacers. Pacers don't have Victor Oladipo. We don't have.
Now. Marcus Smart's not going to be there.
I was about to say.
I don't know if the Celtics are.
Oh, what? Come on, man. Look, I feel like the team does not completely revolve around Marcus Smart. Yes, I know.
Your best perimeter defender, though, probably in the whole league. Honestly, that's tough to lose out on.
And
that.
not only that, he's the heart and soul of the defense. He's the grit and grind player that brings that mentality and brings everyone else to play the same way.
Right. Well, you got a point there. It's going to be hard to be able to replace the defense of it. I get that, but I mean, we still have really good. We still have really good interior big men. We still got Tice back. We still got Baines.
I think they get by the Pacers, but then the second round without Marcus Smart is gonna be
against Milwaukee without Smart. That would be extremely difficult.
Right. No, I get it, and
because they're probably one of the best perimeter shooting teams. So to have your best perimeter defender out, that's gonna hurt.
When's the earliest he could come back?
4 weeks.
4 to 4 weeks. Yeah. So he has a torn oblique.
Yeah, they're saying at least the first 2 rounds he would probably be out.
Yeah. Do you see any potential upsets within these playoffs? Because I honestly think, if I would say it to me, if the Rockets have to face the Thunder, that's going to be an issue. Because I see the Thunder causing some trouble with them. And I mean, you saw with the last game that they had with the Thunder when Paul George ended up hitting a clutch 3 to pretty much to seal the game, and James Harden had a chance and completely choked out on it. Do you see any chance of the Thunder end up doing anything against the Rockets if they end up playing against them in the playoffs?
I think that would be a really good series, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it going down to 7, honestly. It's OKC's defense against Houston's offense is just a shootout.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I honestly can see OKC pulling it off. You know, it would have to be something where Chris Paul and company, you know, have to be able to step up for the Rockets, and also James Harden's got to be able to get those same calls that he would be getting during the regular season.
Yeah, and Chris Paul stay healthy, which he hasn't done in any of the previous last postseason. So
right,
that would be big for the Rockets.
Yeah, so that'd be an issue. But another thing I wanted to get into, I just want to give a quick shout out to 2 players who came into the league, within the 2000s. One being a Dwayne Wade and another Dirk Nowitzki. They both had their final home games this past couple of days. Both ended up scoring 30 points within their final home game, which is actually kind of surreal considering the fact that they've had the kind of rivalry that they did. One dating back all the way to 2006, where Dirk Nowitzki and their Mavericks, his Mavericks faced off against Dwayne Wade and his Heat. And Dwayne Wade ended up having pretty much the playoff series of his life. You know what I mean? He pretty much took the team and just carried it on its back. Like, certain person couldn't really be able to do without a little bit of help, but I'm just going to keep that for myself. Oh, sorry.
I know you love to comment.
Any way I can be able to sideswipe him, I can. But regardless, hell, Pat Riley was able to be able to sideswipe LeBron the most, considering the fact that he was one to be able to say that to Dwayne Wade, he would say that there would never be a person to have a better legacy in Miami than Dwayne Wade. And that says a lot, considering the fact of what LeBron James also did for the Miami Heat too. That's why you know that Pat Riley and LeBron James don't really tend to get along that well. Just saying. But regardless of the fact, a big kudos and a big shout out to those two. They've had absolutely tremendous careers. Dirk Nowitzki winning a NBA championship in 2011 with the Mavs, going against Dwayne Wade's Heat, and of course in the big 3 with LeBron and Chris Bosh of the not 5, not 6, not 7, yada yada yada. But regardless, Dirk Nowitzki had a great year, was a great international ambassador to the league, and I salute him for all that he has done for the game of basketball. But again, we're listening to the One and Only podcast, the only podcast you'll ever need. The final hit coming up next.
Wow, that's a big clap.
The one and only fucking podcast. The only podcast you will ever fucking need, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, usually I don't cough like that. Simply usually because I don't like to be able to see what I'm about to be able to see. The last hit, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be, of course, the one and only Reacts. And, jeez. I like, for God's sakes, man. I really did not expect to want to be able to see this, but that's right. Like, the people wanted me to be able to react to this ridiculously gruesome injury, and damn it, I'm going to.
Doing it with you, Tony.
Jesus, good God. Like, well, thank you for being listeners. Of course, we appreciate it for each and every one of you. Because, I mean, if it isn't for you, we're not doing what we do. So, again, thank you for the appreciation and thank you for participating for what we do. But this YouTuber, of course, goes to P. McGee. And he wants me to react to the gymnast that ended up breaking not one, but both her legs.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. So.
I heard that she.
Just
I heard
wait until you see this one.
Shit.
All right,
let's.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
No.
We'll roll the tape.
I'm not fucking ready, but damn it, let's just go.
All right.
All right.
An aerospace engineering major.
Such an impressive young lady.
Let's see how high she flies right here.
Yep.
Ah!
Oh
my God! Oh God! Oh shit! Oh my God! Damn! Damn it! Oh my God! Oh God! Literally, they both. Oh God!
I was literally frozen there for a second.
Oh no!
That was quite disturbing there.
Oh
I
man!
told you that shit was nasty.
Oh my God!
Oh,
That
God.
landed, like, the way she ended up fucking landing, like, if she just kind of tilted back just a little more, she could have fucking stuck it. But she just landed too far in, and once she landed too far in, all her fucking weight just gave right through it and just popped everything through. That was fucking gross.
I'm going to have nightmares about
Oh
that
my
tonight.
God, that was
That
fucking
shit was
gross.
nasty, man.
Oh my God. What? What?
You have a sick mind, P. McGee.
You are a
sick
fuck.
man.
God damn it.
Please send in more requests for us to react to.
No, yeah, seriously. If you guys have any more reacts that you want to be able to send, throw that right into the comment section.
Literally anything. It doesn't just
For
have
God's
to be
sakes.
injuries. Literally anything you think is disgusting.
I'm gonna throw up.
You might have to react to. Just anything.
God.
But yeah, that was gross. Thank you for that one.
So I'm gonna go and yeah, I'm gonna. Jesus. All right, let's. We're gonna wrap it up there, folks. I'm pretty much just exhausted from the fact that I just saw some chick just snap both her legs. And oh my God, that was not right. Yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here. If any of you guys want to plug your stuff, go on ahead and please do so. We have, of course, I'm gonna do the One and Only podcast on Instagram, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. Okay, you have Tony, the One and Only. You're gonna find it at The One and Only, at TheOneAndOwnLee on Twitter. And you guys have anything to be able to plug yourselves? Flash, you got anything? No?
Got nothing, go Bruins.
No social media over here.
No social media for that.
Nah, I don't need plugs.
I dig it. Well, for Nikki Flash,
Not
for
at that time.
Machado, for Mallet, I am Tony, the one and only. We're going to get out of here. And until then, bye you. Thanks for tuning into the One and Only Podcast. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram on the One and Only Podcast. And you can find me at the One and Only, TheOneAndOwnLee. And you can find Mallet at CMall, at CMALL90. And Machado at Machado23, Machado23. And Twitter. Thanks for listening. Until then, bye you.
There goes a sign, there goes a sign.